For the longest time, marketing was pretty simple. Companies had a giant megaphone, and we, the customers, were supposed to just listen. But that megaphone, it's broken. Today, we're diving into the huge shift from companies yelling at customers to actually talking with them. And it all kicked off when one of the biggest brands on the planet made a really shocking move. So picture this, it's 2010, and Pepsi does something, well, kinda crazy. After 23 years straight, they bailed on the Super Bowl, the single biggest advertising stage in the world. Instead of some flashy TV commercial, they took that $20 million and poured it into something called the Pepsi Refresh Project, which was all about using social media to fund cool community ideas. And yeah, you've got to ask, why? Why on earth would you walk away from over 100 million people glued to their TVs? The answer really pulls back the curtain on a massive change, not just in ads, but in the whole relationship between a company and its customers. What Pepsi was really saying with that move was this: the age of the megaphone is over. That old model of just blasting one message out to millions of people and, hoping some of it would stick, it was losing its punch. We were all getting way, way better at just tuning it all out. This whole thing represents a complete flip in thinking. The question went from, how do we get our message to you, to, okay, how can you easily reach us? And then, even crazier, how can you all reach each other? It's the move from a company giving a monologue to everyone joining a real dialogue. So, if the giant megaphone isn't working anymore, what's plan B? Well, the first big idea was to just go around it. This led to the rise of what we call direct marketing, where companies decided they were going to start knocking on your door, both literally and, figuratively. So what is it really? Well, it's pretty simple. It's using channels that go straight to you. Think catalogs in the mail, phone calls, that kind of thing. There's no TV network, no magazine in the middle. It's just a direct line from the person selling to the person buying. And the absolute masters of this art? LL Dean. They built $1 billion empire, not with slick TV ads, but with a simple catalog they sent to a very specific group of people. But the real foundation wasn't just the paper catalog. It was their legendary 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's what built a direct relationship based on trust with every single customer. So how did they know whose mailbox to put that catalog in? A lot of them use a really simple but super powerful formula called RFM. To find their best customers, they look at just three things: recency, how recently did you buy from us; frequency, how often do you come back; and monetary value, how much money do you spend. If you score high on those, guess what? You're probably getting their next great offer. Direct marketing was a huge leap forward. But let's be honest, it was still mostly a one-way street. And then the internet arrived. And it didn't just open another channel, it paved a two-way superhighway where real-time, interactive conversations could happen. And by 2009, the writing was on the wall. Just look at these numbers. People were officially spending more time online than they were watching TV. Marketers had to follow the eyeballs. The internet was now the main event, the new battlefield for our attention. And some brands got so incredibly creative with this stuff. Burger King's Hooper Freakout campaign? Absolutely genius. They literally went into the restaurants, told unsuspecting customers that the Whopper was gone forever, and just filmed their real, unscripted, and often hilarious reactions. They didn't just make an ad. They created this amazing interactive experience that millions of people watched and shared online. And this all leads us to the ultimate power shift. The internet didn't just let us talk back to companies. It let us talk to each other on a scale that was never possible before. Suddenly, the most powerful and influential marketing channel wasn't the company anymore. It was us, the customer. And this new power, it's a total double-edged sword. On one side, you have the amazing reward. Look at Blendtec, a company that sells, let's face it, kind of boring blenders. They became a viral sensation with their Will It Blend videos, where they just destroy iPhones and golf balls in their product. But then there's the risk. Motrin put out an ad that some moms found pretty offensive, and over a single weekend, a firestorm erupted on Twitter that forced them to pull the ad and apologize. The conversation is happening, whether a brand likes it or not. So while you can't control the conversation, you can definitely try to influence it. Smart companies are always trying to start a positive buzz fire. They find influential people, they get samples into their hands, they work with leaders and communities, and most important of all, they provide really compelling or useful info that people actually want to share with their friends. This whole shift to a conversation has even transformed the oldest form of marketing there is, the salesperson. They're not just folks knocking on doors trying to push a product anymore. The entire role has completely evolved. John Bello, the founder of the drink company Sobe, just hit the nail on the head with this. He said his success came from his sales team being out there in the street, living and breathing the brand. They weren't just taking orders, they were building real relationships. And that's really the core of it. The salesperson today is a solution vendor. Their job isn't to sell you something, it's to understand what your problem is and act like a consultant to help you solve it. The whole game is about building a long-term relationship, not just getting a quick sale.
But we have to be real. There is a dark side to all of this personal marketing. When every brand wants to have a conversation with you, it can get really irritating, right? Constant messages, intrusive ads. It can also lead to unfairness, deception, and the biggest worry for a lot of us, the invasion of our privacy as companies learn more and more about us to make those conversations personal.
And that leaves us with a big, complicated question for our time. We've gone from the megaphone to the dialogue, and that can be incredibly helpful for us as consumers. But in this new world, where do we and where do companies draw the line between a genuinely helpful conversation and a creepy invasion of our privacy?